We're playing Pauper 2-Land Spy, the deck featuring Balustrade Spy, and today we're playing Malevolent Rumble from Modern Horizons 3. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. Before we begin, I would like to thank Hunter Bish for today's donation deck. If you want to see your decks here on the Epic Storm, go to theepicstorm.com/donation decks to get your deck showcased. So we're playing Pauper 2-Land Spy. Why 2 lands? Well, it's the theory is that you get a little bit of consistency. Sometimes making that extra land drop does help you. But in order to understand why that is good or problematic, let's talk about how the deck functions first. So the idea is that we always want to find Balustrade Spy. We're not playing the other card today, a 5-mana sorcery that effectively does the same thing. So we're only playing this card. So in order for this to be effective, you need to pull both lands out of your deck. So if you're playing 2 lands, it's one extra hoop you have to jump through. You have Abundant Harvest, Land Grant, and Generous Ent to search those lands out of your deck. So you have 12 ways to find 2 lands. Okay. And sometimes that's good because you'll open up hands with 2 copies of Land Grant or Land Grant plus Abundant Harvest, that sort of thing, and you actually want the mana. So 2 lands isn't always bad. But if you don't find multiple of these effects, then having a second land might stop you from winning the game. So that's the idea. So Balustrade Spy, you want as few lands as possible while still making the deck function. So the idea here is that we have Malevolent Rumble to help dig on top of those 12 effects for our 2 lands, but also to find Balustrade Spy. So instead of having extra, more clunky effects, we're playing a card that's a little bit smoother. This was Hunter's idea. I'll be honest with you. This is the card I'm not so sure about. I'm not saying it's bad. I've never played it. So today we're going to play it for the first time. But the Maverick here, when it enters the battlefield, you Surveil 2, which does provide fuel for your Cabal rituals. And it digs a little bit to find your Balustrade Spy. So I understand it. I'm just not convinced it's the best card in the deck to be playing, but I've been wrong before in my life. I am not perfect. Sometimes I have wrong opinions. Let's see if I'm wrong about this one. So we are playing this card here today to create Surveil fodder while digging for our Balustrade Spy. So that is what's unique. And then eventually, after you mill your entire library, you'll play a Dread Return. What are you sacrificing? Usually copies of Dregscape Zombie. We only have 2. So if you don't have another creature with the Balustrade Spy and there's a removal spell, you could be out of luck. But it's just enough to play this Dread Return flashback to get back the Lotleth Giant and drain your opponent for 20 plus damage. So that's the idea here. In the sideboard, we do have a Wooded Ridgeline to help us cast Pyroblast and Ingot Chewer on top of Natural State to blow up things like Relic of Progenitus or Nile Spellbomb. We have Duress for something like Thraben Charm, and then we have Haunting Misery. So that is what we'll be doing today. That is the deck list. If you're interested, put your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you, but for now, we're going to play some Pauper. I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the play. I love that. Let's see if we can get some good hands. This hand has no mana. We will send it back. So here we have the Land Grant, so that pulls out the first land. I think you're supposed to keep this. We'll bottom a copy of Cabal Ritual. We will play a Land Grant. Let's grab the Forest. And then I'll play an Elven Farsight. It's a little risky, but I kind of want to bottom all 3 of these. Okay. Let's say yes. We reveal the Cabal Ritual instead. So the 4th Cabal Ritual is on top of our deck. Not great. Our opponent plays a Foreboding Landscape for a Swamp. We'll play the Tinderwall. Pass the turn. So we need to find the extra land here. And we have to find the Spy. Our opponent plays Duress. They take a Rumble. Candy Trail, okay. So this is probably Gardens. Commune with Nature. We'll take the Generous Ent. So this at least finds the extra land we need. But then we have to find the Spy. They play Ichor Wellspring. And another copy of Foreboding Landscape. I suppose this could just be the Broodscale deck. Okay, so I think I want to play the Maverick here. So I'm going to sacrifice the Tinderwall, because if I don't find the win soon, I could be dead. So we'll grab the Haunted Mire, we'll play it. And then we'll play the Maverick. Surveil 2. Neither of these are good. We're on draw into Spy or Bust. We've seen 25% of our deck. They play their own Rumble. Yeah, this is definitely Broodscale combo. They have a land. And there's the Broodscale. We could be dead if this isn't it. Tinderwall. Okay. So we have to hope that they don't have the win. They play Chromatic Star. Another Foreboding Landscape. They draw off Candy Trail. It looks like they don't have it. Wow. Another Generous Ent. Does not help me here. We'll pass. Another Duress from the opponent. Takes Cabal Ritual. No blocks. Okay, we'll take 3. They play the Nadir's Nightblade. And we ripped the Spy. Lucky. Cabal Ritual. Cabal Ritual. We will cycle the Generous Ent. No land. Play Spy. Target myself. And now we will Dread Return on the Giant. Sacrifice 3 creatures. So that was a very fortunate draw for us. I will say that. And we win game number 1. So our opponent's deck usually plays like 2 Nile Spellbombs in the board. I don't think I want to bring in a bunch of the artifact removal spells. Like we could probably bring in like 2 Natural State because it also blows up their combo. So I don't mind that. We'll get rid of the Mavericks. And then like 1 Haunting Misery isn't the worst idea. And like maybe a Duress. My concern here is we're down to 23 creatures, what might be a little low. So if we take out the Duress, bring back a Maverick, cut the couple copies of Commune, and we'll leave in 3 Maverick. Let's try this. I'm just worried that the creature count's too low. Okay, this is quite the hand. We need another way to find a land, but no chance I mulligan this. Duress. So they should take the Abundant Harvest here. And now we need 2 ways to remove the lands from our deck. And they do take Abundant Harvest. We draw a Spirit Guide. Play out a couple copies of Lotus Petal and pass. Chromatic Star. A zombie. Okay. Mesmeric Fiend. So this is going to exile our Spy. Things are not looking so good after we opened up on a very powerful hand. Another Cabal Ritual. Pass the turn. We get hit for 1. Street Wraith. Let's cycle that. Another Lotus Petal. They swing for 1. Land Grant. So this will get 1 land out of the deck. We'll grab the Haunted Mire. Play it. Pass the turn. They play a land and attack. We drew the Spy. So at this point, I just need to draw another thing that exile or that finds a land in our deck. I'll play out the Dregscape Zombie. Just to threaten blocking here. They draw with Chromatic Star. They play a land. Nadir's Nightblade. Okay, I mean, we're 1 draw away here. We can do this. Elven Farsight. Okay. It's not terrible. And there's the land. Oh my, we could surveil the land to the bottom, and then it doesn't matter. This is kind of cool here. Or scry the land to the bottom. So we know the land is our bottom card. We'll put these on top. We'll say yes. Dark Ritual. This is a really cool line. I will say this. Say that. I don't know words. Don't judge me. Cabal Ritual. Cabal Ritual. We'll play Spy. Target ourselves. And now we will bring back the Dregscape Zombie. And then Dread Return on the Lotleth Giant. They have Weather the Storm. That's not great. Okay. So maybe I do need Duress. I have double Weather. Okay. Well, we can go to the next game. We'll bring in Duress. Get rid of the Haunting Misery. Maybe cut Rumbles. Bring back in the Maverick just so we have creatures. Yeah, we'll leave in one Rumble, I guess. This deck does have a tough time beating Weather the Storm because you can only deal like 24, 25 damage typically. On the play for game 3. Nope. Going to 6. Okay, this is interesting. We'll try it. We'll bottom the zombie. So best case scenario, we play the Maverick, we surveil away our only other land, and find like a Dark Ritual. Well, there's the other land. We'll keep Land Grant. Play Lotus Petal. Play Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. We have a Foreboding Landscape. We will play Land Grant, show them that we have the Spy. So they need one of their 2 Mesmeric Fiends right now. And then I'll play Maverick. Put Dregscape to the graveyard. Put Harvest to the graveyard. And we'll attack for 1. Okay. Land number 2. They have the Mesmeric Fiend! There's only 2 of them! Brutal! Alright, we'll attack for 2. Pass the turn. They play Rumble. Suffocating Fumes will go to the graveyard. What did they grab there? They chose Nadir's Nightblade. Okay. They attack with the Fiend. We find Street Wraith, we'll cycle that. Play Duress. Weather the Storm and another Rumble. And Insight. I think I'm actually not that worried about Weather at this point. So we'll take the Rumble. Swing. Pass the turn. They play Insight. Okay. Oh, they found Broodscale. That's not good. Alright, deck. I'm asking you. I am begging you. Give me Balustrade Spy off the top rope. Ding! Oh, wow. You know, that was very, very lucky. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't. Balustrade Spy. Our opponent's going to be so upset here. Alright, Balustrade Spy. Target myself. There's no justice. That was all luck. It's one way to win a match. We are now 1-0. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the draw. We have a really interesting hand here. So one problem with this build, there's no Rotting Rats. So if you draw Giant or Dread Return, there's no way to get it out of your hand. So what we could do is just the first turn draw, discard the Giant, and then we have land plus Balustrade Spy. I think that's probably good enough. I know that time walking ourselves is not ideal, but I do value having land Spy. So we're just going to discard the Giant. Our opponent plays Swamp. Ichor Wellspring, okay. There's Generous Ent. Okay. We need, like, Dark Ritual off the top. Maybe that's not even good enough. Looks like we're facing the Broodscale combo again. In our upkeep, I'm going to cycle Generous Ent. So this way I don't accidentally draw the Forest. Abundant Harvest. We'll play Maverick here because it helps get a couple cards to the graveyard for Cabal Ritual. And it saves me a mana on the combo turn. So this is actually decent here. Both of these can go to the graveyard. Okay. So next turn I can go Maverick, which is 6 cards to the graveyard. And then pitch ESG Cabal Ritual. So right now I'm 1 card short in graveyard for a Cabal Ritual to be good. I do have 4 mana into Spy, but I'm 1 mana short of winning. So Cabal Ritual or Lotus Petal off the top, Dark Ritual, another Simian Spirit Guide, something like that. And our opponent plays another Rumble. Okay. 2 black mana for an Ichor Wellspring. Come on, deck. Pretty please. Be good. Draw. Commune with nature. That does not help. So I guess I could try to Elven Farsight into a Spirit Guide. Or actually, that doesn't work either. I guess Abundant Harvest into like exactly Dark Ritual would do it. My fear is that I'm not going to get to untap again. I think I have to play the Abundant Harvest. I think Lotus Petal might do it here too. So Dark Ritual and Lotus Petal. Does Lotus Petal do it? I think Lotus Petal does it because the green for Maverick works. Non-land. Land Grant does not do it. I'm still one card short with Land Grant. So I guess we'll play another Maverick and hope that we live, which does not feel very good here. Going for one. If there was a line there, I did not see it. I mean, I could not see it. I mean, if we had the Land Grant from the start, but I did not see a way to get Threshold. And we needed 5 mana so that way we could bring back a Dregscape Zombie. Counting to 4 was not good enough. We needed to count to 5. And here our opponent has Duress, which is going to take our Cabal Ritual. That's devastating. Lotus Petal or Simian Spirit Guide off the top. Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual all win the game. They play another Chromatic Star. Twisted Landscape, 5 cards in hand. Come on, deck. Please draw something good. Rumble gives me a mana for next turn. I think I take the guaranteed mana. We'll play Rumble. Select the Street Wraith. And hope that our opponent doesn't draw the combo again. Even though they have 2 Chromatic Stars they can cycle. Swing, swing. They use the Twisted Landscape on the end step. So they'll get to see 3 new cards this turn. Between their draw step and 2 copies of Chromatic Star. They use the first copy of Chromatic Star. And they use the second. They can flashback. Ooh, there's the Broodscale. They do have the ability to flashback Insight and draw 3 off of Ichor Wellspring. They did not. So they're at 17. I don't think I'm supposed to cycle the Street Wraith because in theory I could draw the Dread Return and then we lose. I will play Balustrade Spy. Target myself. 22 creatures. We'll cast Dread Return on the Lotleth Giant, which is the top card in our graveyard, because this is the game we started with draw discard. And now we'll have 25 creatures in graveyard. We will cast the Insight in response. Okay. We've stolen game number 1. We'll bring in Duress again. Let's try the Natural States. Let's cut Commune with Nature this time. Maybe 2 Rumbles and 1 Maverick. Let's try this. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm kind of just trying things and seeing how they feel. Okay, game number 2. We've opened up a very good hand, but it has the Dread Return in it. So do we want to have another game where we just take a turn off to start? That is the question here. It is capable of getting both lands, but it has no dig for the Spy either. I'm going to mulligan. I think I don't blame anyone for keeping it, but I'm choosing to mulligan. And I think that this hand is just better. We'll keep. Get rid of the Abundant Harvest. Actually, let's get rid of the Spirit Guide. Turn 1 Twisted Landscape. They select Swamp. Cabal Ritual. We will play our Haunted Mire. Twisted Landscape. Into Energy Refractor. We'll cycle the Generous Ent. Go get the basic. And now we're just looking for our Spy. Play the Maverick. We'll surveil both of these. Pass the turn. We're a lucky draw away. They play another Swamp. They use the Twisted Landscape, so this can get a Forest. Now they have 2 black mana. Or Ichor Wellspring. Let's cycle Street Wraith. Another Street Wraith, we'll cycle that. Lotus Petal's the draw. Abundant Harvest for non-land. Unfortunately, we find a land anyway in Land Grant. We will play Duress. I think we're supposed to take the Rumble here. I don't actually care about Duress. We'll attack. Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the Ichor Wellspring, so they'll draw 3 cards. And now they can look at my hand that does nothing. We are once again begging for a Balustrade Spy off the top rope. They play Haunted Mire. Dread Return. I mean, I could get back a Generous Ent. Start beating down. I don't think the beatdown plan is actually going to work, though. I think we'll be dead before it even comes close to that. I'll pass. So you might be saying, why not just put Generous Ent into play? Well, the problem is if our opponent draws another Duress, I have no mana now. So that is what I'm thinking about here. Like, so I go Dark Ritual, Dread Return on a creature that doesn't matter. They play Duress, take my Cabal Ritual. Even if I draw the Spy, I'm a couple mana away from winning. Evolution Witness. Another Abundant Harvest. Non-land. Duress again, okay. We'll take the Sadistic Glee. Get in there. They play Cash Grab. They get the Nadir's Nightblade. Interesting, so they milled over a Sadistic Glee and did not return it. Well, I guess they can adapt the Evolution Witness and just bring it back anyway. We will pass. They play an Insight, and then they Evolution Witness, getting back Sadistic Glee. Tree of Tales. They play another Insight, so they've literally seen 50% of their deck at this point. Malevolent Rumble. They find Basking Broodscale, so that should be the game here. No, they're going to choose to play Duress. They were afraid. They take Cabal Ritual, so now I actually can't win. Mesmeric Fiend. I mean, they take the Dread Return, that's the game. Maybe there was a reason to play out to get the Generous Ent? I don't know. It only matters, I mean, you want to make the right play, but it only really matters if our next card is Balustrade Spy, and it was not. All right, game 3. We saw a third of our deck that game and did not find a Spy. I'm going to just resubmit here. On the play. Very good hand. Keep. We'll start with a land grant. Grab the Forest. Play it. Play Lotus Petal. Cycle the Generous Ent. We'll go grab Haunted Mire. Pass the turn. Swamp into Duress, which doesn't really matter all that much. They take the Duress. Cycle Street Wraith. Lotus Petal. We'll play Abundant Harvest. We'll say non-land. Another Street Wraith. So Cabal Ritual might do it here. Cycle. We did not find a Cabal Ritual. I will pass. Land number 2. Rumble! Sadistic Glee, Ichor Wellspring, Energy Refractor. This looks like a win to me. Okay. Exile, the Spirit Guide. Hold on. I was counting my chickens. It's not a win. I'm a mana short. I need another creature. So if our opponent has the win, we're dead. Well, they put Sadistic Glee to the graveyard, which isn't a good sign. And they chose Energy Refractor. We'll play Maverick. I guess we can put Natural State on top. And we have to hope they don't have a turn 3 now. Another Duress, so they can take our Rumble, but that doesn't matter. Okay. So they didn't have a turn 3. So now I will exile the Spirit Guide. Play Spy. Target myself. 23 creatures in the graveyard. We'll escape the Dregscape Zombie. Dread Return on the Lotleth Giant, and that's going to be enough. I could attack here, I'm not going to. Alright, well, look at that. We're 2-0, beating the best deck in the format twice, or at least in my opinion. I know a lot of people like Affinity. But regardless, we beat a top-tier deck twice. We're 2-0, let's go see if we can get some more match wins. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Time for the third match. We're on the play. Very good hand. Maybe the best hand we've seen so far. Keep. We will land grant. Grab the Forest. Play the Forest. Play the Tinderwall. Play Lotus Petal. Pass. So you might be wondering, why not go get the Haunted Mire? Well, I might be able to win next turn depending on our draw step, so I don't want to do that. Instead, here I'm setting up for possible success, and it looks like we're facing Broodscale combo for a third time. They take the Dark Ritual. Okay. We draw the other land grant. So no reason to cycle this Generous Ent. We'll commune with nature. We will take the Simian Spirit Guide. Pass the turn. Malevolent Rumble. They did not find a combo piece. Silver Lining. Okay, so that allows me to win. Because I can use the Lotus Petal. So the problem is we didn't have enough black mana before. If the draw wasn't good. Well, now I have 1 black mana to get back the Dregscape Zombie. So everything ended up working out just fine. We'll bring back the zombie. And now we will dread return on the Lotleth Giant. Easy does it. Sweet. We'll bring in the natural state again. I mean, we haven't seen an Owl Spellbomb, but a lot of lists play 2 in the sideboard. And then, like, do we actually want Duress? I mean, we can't beat a Weather the Storm, so I feel like the answer is yes. We'll board out Commune with Nature. 1 Maverick and 2 Rumbles. Okay, so this has access to both lands and can dig for a spy. I think that's fine. It is a very reasonable keep. They play Forest and pass. Lotus Petal's a good draw. We'll pass the turn. I was thinking about if I wanted to play out a Rumble. I'm not sure. On the end step, we'll cycle the Generous Ent. We'll go grab the Haunted Mire. Dark Ritual is a very good draw here. We'll play the Maverick. Dread Return can definitely go to the graveyard. So can this Maverick. Pass the turn. They play an Implement of Ferocity. And they're holding open 2 mana, so they might just have a Weather the Storm in hand. We'll attack for 1. Cycle the Street Wraith. Another Rumble. We'll play the Rumble. Take a Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. So I don't want to play the Lotus Petal because I don't want to fuel their Weather the Storms. They Insight. Okay. Land number 4. Chromatic Star. Another Implement. Land Grant. Let's Elven Farsight. Okay, so we found the Spy. The problem here is if I go for it, I just lose to Weather. Attack for 1. Play Tinderwall. Alright, let's see if they actually have it. I'm going to play out Lotus Petal. Because next turn I might be able to beat the Weather if they don't play it now. Okay. Mesmeric Fiend. So that's going to be able to take the Spy. Let's Rumble again. Nothing. We will put a counter on the Maverick. Swing for 2. Basking Broodscale. Looks like no Sadistic Glee. A little surprising. And is that the 4th land grant? No, that must have been a different game. Okay. We'll play out our Dregscape Zombie. Pass the turn. Deadly Dispute. They play a Rumble, and they find the Sadistic Glee. They check with Duress. I'm good to pick it up. Like, I guess I could make them go through it and prove that they have a way to kill me this turn. Because right now they can just make a really large creature, but they need another way to do something. There's the Energy Refractor. So they now have infinite mana of any color. If they have the Nadir's Nightblade, I can pick it up. There it is. I won't make them click through. We can just go to the next game. I'm going to resubmit. Like, I know that the natural states haven't come up yet, but I think they're correct to be in there. This hand has the land, but it can't dig at all. I'm going to mulligan. Ay. How good is this hand? I think we're supposed to keep it. We'll bottom a Spirit Guide. We will exile Simian Spirit Guide, cycle the Generous Ent, grab the Haunted Mire, pass the turn. They play their own copy of Haunted Mire. Tinderwall. We'll cycle Street Wraith. Let's play Duress. Take the Rumble. Pass the turn. Right now would be a really good time for us to draw into a land grant. Because we could land grant into Rumble. They ripped the Basking Broodscale. That's not good. Another Elven Farsight. Let's play 1. I don't want a Maverick at all. Put it on the bottom. Yes. Well, we find a Maverick anyway. We're a Sadistic Glee away from death. They play a Bridge, Chromatic Star, and Implement. So they have Evolution Witness, and I believe maybe the Swamp is still in their hand. I might have crossed off the Swamps too soon. I'm not sure. Spirit Guide. Let's Rumble. Oh no. Triple Ritual. We... Actually, hold on. Undo. Oh, never mind. I have to take the Spy. Pass the turn. Sorry, I've been playing so much Planar Genesis recently, also from Modern Horizons 3 and Modern, and for some reason I was like, oh, if I don't take it, I can... Oh, we're dead to the Glee off the top. So they can make an infinite creature here with infinite mana, and then they need a way to kill me this turn. The problem is I am so far away from winning that it doesn't matter, because next turn I can like play a Maverick and block, but how am I ever going to get ahead? They play Insight, sure. An Evolution Witness. They make green. And now they're adapting. They can get back... They're going to get back Implement? Oh, because I see. When you get back Implement, the Evolution Witness... Does that go... no, it doesn't. They could have gone back Chromatic Star and then flash back the Insight, but they didn't. We'll take a draw. Another Elven Farsight. We'll play Rumble. There's the Land Grant. I suppose we keep this on top, but like I'm still so far away from winning. So right now they don't have lethal yet, and there's the Nightblade. Okay, so they got it. So we're 2-1 now. We saw a little bit of the downside here. We're setting up with Rumbles and with Mavericks and Rumbles. It takes a little bit of time, and time is of the essence in this matchup. So we got our first loss. We're 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the draw, and I think we should mulligan this. It doesn't have mana, it has a Dread Return. We should just ship it. Wow, this hand is very good. We will keep... Wish this was a 7. Get rid of the Simian Spirit Guide. Basic Forest. We will play the Land Grant. This could actually end up being a turn 2, maybe. I think it depends on our draw. We'll grab the Haunted Mire, play it and pass. Overgrown Battlement, so we're facing walls. That was a good one. Alright, so we could go Tinderwall. Well, there's a lot of ways we could play this. You could go Dark Ritual, cycle Generous Ent down to 2 mana, go get the Forest, play the Tinderwall. That would bring you back up to 4. Dark Ritual would be 5-6. Spirit Guide would be 7. Yeah, I mean, the math checks out, so let's do it. So we'll start with the Dark Ritual, cycle the Generous Ent, play the Forest, play Tinderwall, exile the Spirit Guide, sacrifice Tinderwall, Dark Ritual, play the Spy. We will target ourselves. And now we will unearth the Dregscape Zombie. And another one. So it turns out we never even needed the Simian Spirit Guide. We had it the whole time. And now we'll bring back the Lotleth Giant. I could attack for 2. I just don't need to, so I'm not going to bother. Sweet. I would like more hands like that. I am not going to sideboard versus walls. I believe the name of the game is just racing, so that's what we'll do. Game 2, on the draw, we have 1 land and an Abundant Harvest. So the downside is we have a bunch of creatures that are stuck in our hand. It's going to take some time to get rid of those, but I still think that it's a very good hand. Land Grant was an amazing find here. We'll play the Haunted Mire, because now next turn I can play Tinderwall plus the Maverick and set up for a turn 3. Land number 2, Overgrown Battlement. We will Land Grant, grab the Forest. We'll play the Maverick. We'll put both cards to the graveyard, a Simian Spirit Guide and a Tinderwall, and then we'll play out another Tinderwall. Let's see what our Wall's opponent can do. 3 mana for an Axebane Guardian. That is not going to be good enough. We draw Cabal Ritual. Let's play Dark Ritual. Sacrifice the Tinderwall. We have 6 total mana here. We will play Spy. Target myself. Play Cabal Ritual. Play the Dregscape Zombie from hand. And our opponent concedes the match. Well, that was a quick one. 3-1. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The fifth and final round, we're on the draw. We've opened up a pretty good hand. I will keep. Looks like we're facing Affinity. I will play Haunted Mire and pass the turn. Okay, maybe not Affinity. Archaeologist. Oh, we're facing Jeskai Ephemerate. A deck with actual counterspells in it. That's scary. We will Land Grant. Go grab the Forest. I'll play a Rumble. Take Lotus Petal. Actually, is the... No, I'll take a Lotus Petal. I don't think Maverick's correct here. Pass the turn. They play a Plains. So no counterspell right now. Let's cycle Street Wraith. Generous Ent was not a good draw. We'll play Abundant Harvest, non-land, another Rumble, Elven Farsight. Well, there's some spies. We'll keep both spies. Show them that we have a Balustrade Spy. Play Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. They didn't Ephemerate on the Archaeologist. That's weird. And now they have Counterspell mana. Let's cycle Street Wraith. We'll play a Rumble. I guess we'll take a Generous Ent. I don't really want it, though. And now we'll pass. Discard Generous Ent. And they're just not playing spells. Let's play another Rumble. Take the Tinderwall. Play Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. I think my only hope of winning this game is that our opponent counters the Spy when I go to play it, and then I can play another one. They play Mystic. So this would be my spot to win. But the problem here is I actually don't have enough resources. Or at least I don't think I do. Play Tinderwall. Dark Ritual. Sacrifice Tinderwall. Let's try a Spy. It's happening. They're countering the wrong card. Yes. Let's go. Okay, and now we will play the other Tinderwall. Sacrifice it for red. Play Spy number 2. And now we will Dread Return on the Lotleth Giant, wherever you are, down here. Sacrifice the Spy plus 2 Eldrazi Spawn tokens. We got there. Wow. Lucky, lucky. We'll bring in the Wooded Ridgeline. I think we want the Pyroblast. So this is a weird one because they run Cleansing Wildfire, so you kind of want the basic in the deck, but it's awkward. We don't need... I think Rumble might be too clunky. Like, am I crazy boarding up to 3 lands? That's a question I have here. And then, like, we could bring in Duress. Or we could just say Pyroblast is going to have to be good enough off of Spirit Guides and Tinderwalls and Lotus Petals. Like, that's another option here. Maybe we'll try this. On the draw for game number 2. Okay. I mean, this hand is great. Keep. No complaints with this. Lotus Petal. I feel like we have drawn pretty well this league compared to the last time that I've played this deck. We'll say land. We hit the basic. We'll Abundant Harvest again. Say land. Go get the other land. So now we've pulled both lands out of the deck. They play Archaeologist. They hit a Dawnbringer Cleric and an Ephemerate. They return the Ephemerate. Generous Ent was a bad draw. We'll play Haunted Mire. Play the Maverick. Dark Ritual's good. We'll keep that. And then if for some reason our opponent taps out, we could theoretically go for it, but I don't know why they tap out on turn 3. We will play Tinderwall and pass the turn. We have 6 protection spells we're trying to draw into now. Tune the Narrative, and another Tune the Narrative. They have 4 energy. They play a Bridge. Jolted Awake. I need to read this one. Choose up to 1 target artifact or creature card in your graveyard. You get 2 energy. And then you pay any amount of energy equal to that card's mana value. If you do, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield cycling. Wow, that card is good. So now they can return Dawnbringer Cleric. And with Ephemerate, that's like a lock. So I am pressured to go off now. Otherwise, they have me on a lock. So we're going to have to see what we can do. Like, maybe I shouldn't cycle. Elven Farsight. Play the Elven Farsight. None of these are good. We'll say yes. Our top card is another copy of Elven Farsight. Dark Ritual. I mean, I'm going to lose the counterspell here. I don't really have a choice. So we'll see what we can make happen. Play the Spy. And there's the counterspell. So we had 6 protection spells in our deck. We didn't draw one. Unfortunate. I mean, we opened up on a very good hand. Let's try it again. On the play. Sure. I mean, this hand's a little odd, but I think it's fine. We will land grant. Go get the basic forest. Play the forest. And the Abundant Harvest. Pass the turn. They play their bridge. Another Abundant Harvest. We'll play Elven Farsight. Bottom. Bottom. I don't think I want Cabal Ritual. We'll use Elven Farsight. We hit a Maverick. I'll just pass the turn here. They play a Landscape. We find Duress. Elven Farsight. We'll bottom the Dark Ritual and the Lotus Petal. We'll keep the Tinderwall, because it's a guaranteed draw here. We'll play Abundant Harvest. We'll say non-land. We find another Lotus Petal. We'll pass. Alright, so now they have Counterspell mana available. Play a Maverick. Neither of these cards are things we want. We'll bottom, or I'm sorry, surveil both. Play another Maverick. Get rid of the Cabal Ritual and the Lotus Petal. So you might be thinking, like, don't you want this Cabal Ritual? I think we have enough mana right now that I'm not really worried about Cabal Ritual. Like, if they kill both these creatures, that's okay too. But right now, 27. Okay, well that's unfortunate, because now it's actually going to be slightly more difficult to kill them. These Mavericks need to deal some damage. They play a land. Cleansing Wildfire, sure. So with this draw, we've seen 33% of the deck at this point and have not found a Balustrade Spy. Cycle Street Wraith. We find Pyroblast. Cycle Street Wraith. Simian Spirit Guide. Play Lotus Petal. So we're just in a Spy waiting room at this point. Play the Tinderwall. 38 cards left in our deck. Swing for 2. Pass the turn. They cycle a Jolted Awake. And they play a Perilous Landscape. Galvanic Discharge. That is fine. Dawnbringer Cleric. Once again, this is problematic if they have Ephemerate. They exile a Street Wraith. This would be a great time to draw a Spy. Come on, deck. Nope, another Generous Ent that does nothing. Okay, we'll Duress. Double Counterspell, Archaeomancer, Cleansing Wildfire. We'll take one Counterspell. Pass the turn. Another Cleansing Wildfire. Tune the Narrative. I think I'm supposed to start cycling these Generous Ents because I actually need them in the graveyard. With them being at 25, I've realized that I actually just, like, have to cycle them. Another Pyroblast. Really wish I had that third land now. But it would have made it a lot more difficult to win, needing to find all 3 lands. We're going to counter the Archaeomancer. Instead, we'll cycle the Generous Ent. So I'm a couple draws away from winning now. I have to find the Spy and, like, a Ritual. Another Pyroblast. So that's all 3 Pyroblasts. They tune the Narrative again. They evoke a Muldrifter. 7 cards. We drew the Giant. We'll pass, I guess. Murmuring Mystic. Sure thing. We'll cycle Street Wraith down to 14 life. Another Maverick. We'll play it. Get rid of the land grant. Keep Elven Farsight, I guess. Pass the turn. Not having the Rotting Rats this league has just been so devastating. Just Lotleth Giant or Dread Return. I think you have to. Like, I don't like Rotting Rats. I just think you have to play it. Another Mystic. We'll play Elven Farsight. Okay. So I'm just going to show them that I have the Spy, which doesn't really matter because I'm nowhere near winning the game. Except they Galvanic Discharge. Yeah, the energy version of the Jeskai deck seems a lot better. Like, Jolted Awake is a very powerful card. Galvanic Discharge being able to scale. Tune the Narrative is like a card you're sort of forced to play, but the payoffs are worth it in my opinion. Like, this looks so much better than the old Jeskai decks. Alright, we're taking a bunch of damage. So I think the only way we win this is if our opponent concedes. So that's what we're going to go for here. Play the Spy. We'll respond with a Pyroblast. Counter the counter spell. They counter again. We'll pitch the Spirit Guide. And counter their counter. Okay. Maybe I was supposed to attack first to help sell the bluff because they just got a bunch of blockers. Target myself. 21 creatures. So even if I had the Dread returning graveyard, I'd be short of damage. I'm sorry, if I had the Giant in graveyard, I'd be short of damage. Because I could do 24 here. Alright, well that's the league. Hunter, thank you for the donation deck. I really do appreciate it. So my thoughts. 2 lands this league seemed very good. I actually genuinely liked 2 lands. Other thoughts. Commune with Nature and Elven Farsight, I wasn't as impressed with. Rumble, out of all of the cards you added, I think is probably the best one. But I'm not convinced on Commune, Elven Farsight, or the Maverick. But I do think Rumble and 2 lands, not bad. Not bad at all. So in my own build, I would probably test 2 lands and Rumble again. But everyone, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the changes in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, take care, keep storming, all that good stuff. See ya. Hey you, yeah you, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, and if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation-decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier, it's totally worth it, I promise, and see ya, thanks for watching.